do you find a guy 6'11", 240 at this point? Take us through that process and how that came together.
Well, really what happened was, October 9th, Jeff Goodman put a tweet out. And he said, and he talked about Kirill, said he's already been cleared by the NCAA. He'll be eligible to play right away. And so we started doing our due diligence calls. We kind of knew we had only two guys, but it kind of started with that tweet. And we did our due diligence, watched them, started recruiting them, did that whole process. And in our back of our mind, we knew, just kind of went through the process. But the whole country saw that tweet, and he had a lot of calls, not just us. And we recruited him, showed that we had a need for him. But we didn't do anything getting him cleared for the NCAA. That tweet, we saw it, and he's already been cleared by the NCAA. It was October 9th. And we're like, he's already been cleared by the NCAA. He's 6'11", he's everything. I'm like, and that's how it started.
How unique is the mid-year edition?
Yeah,
And what is
really unique. I've never had it. But I'll tell you, if you, whether I like it or not is a different story. It's allowed, and you're either going to evolve. It was like when NIL hit. There were some people that didn't like it, but the people that just jumped in and evolved faster got a leg up until the other places that it took them a while to get going with it. Do we need guidelines or guardrails and a lot of things? Yes, but right now, if he's cleared, you gotta evolve. He's cleared. He's a really good young man. I can't believe that we were able to throw him in with two practices. They ran 40 minutes of zone, and he had to do zone offense, and everything. They pressed, and we're like trying to on the fly. Mo can't get 4 fouls in 13 minutes and 58 seconds, but with Kai injured, and I thought Kirill battled. I thought he battled, and he'll get better and better and better. He literally 2 practices in.
How impressive is that as a starting point?
Yeah, I tell you, we're fortunate enough to be able to have him play that kind of minutes. Now, it's a lot of communication to let him know what we're about to go into. The SEC, he's going to have the bodies, the sizes, the athleticism, and we'll evolve. But just to get game speed, game minutes, it was invaluable tonight, and we'll see. And Kai's getting treatment every day, so we'll see added. But it just gives us depth at that center spot.
How much communication problem is it? Or we don't know him at all. So did
Yeah.
he speak anything?
Yeah, he can speak. He totally can speak. You have a conversation, I can talk to him. Sometimes the way I get going, I'm talking about run double high, pin down, left, right, come on this block. And he's like, say that again, coach? Just how I am. I sometimes go fast. But he totally understands. He's got a really good IQ. I mean, he can pick stuff up, and that's going to help him too. But yeah, he absolutely can speak English.
The unique nature of adding him mid-season aside, just what have these last few days, like you say, he's only been through a couple practices, but what has that process been like, just trying to get him up to speed?
I would never add somebody that I thought would interfere with the dynamics of the culture of our locker room. That's first and foremost. I would never do it. And our guys right away recognize that what a good young man. He's quiet, but what a good guy. He's trying to learn, trying to do that. And our guys have been awesome. We got awesome guys. They've just embraced him, trying to help him, everything we do, our coaching staff. And if he can help him, he's part of our group, if he can help us. And but I've never had to do this because it's never been allowed. But like I said, when the NCAA said he's cleared, that's when we started the process. And everyone in the country had the same opportunity. And he's a really good young man. We'll get him better. But it was to be able to throw him in and get, 18 minutes tonight? It's credit to him that you can even just, follow along in a game plan like that.
Well, it's a weird dynamic in basketball now. Baylor gets a guy that gets 4 years. That was the 32nd pick in the draft. And teams are picking up guys. And you mentioned a minute ago that you don't know if you like it. But this is going to have to be something everybody's going to have to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation whether you like it or not. I can tell you but if you're following the rules, if they're saying that you can do that, you got to look with your own situation. If that helps your own situation, you got to look at it. And but I still think it's a whole nother conversation whether a guy has been drafted or not. So that's another conversation. Yeah.
Overall, how did you feel like you played?
You know, I think coming out after Christmas and right away seeing 40 minutes of zone, I think it's something that just gets you stagnant. I thought Kowal got us going sometimes when we weren't moving as great as we needed to. Guys were starting to find him. But I think for some of our guys, I think the stagnation, the zone over and over and over when they've been thriving in some movement affected their defense. I was more, on that. I still think we only had 8 turnovers, still taking care of the ball, still shot it well. It just, you don't see 40 minutes straight of zone very often. And that can sometimes get you out of rhythm. I think defensively, I think we might have set a record for most shots made 3 seconds or less on a shot clock tonight. I think they had 6 baskets, 3 seconds or less. So I thought defensively, I think we played a little bit stagnant at times defensively for my liking. And without looking at the tape, I can say I felt being out of rhythm for 40 straight minutes for some of our guys. I think Kowal sees his zone and his eyes get about this big. That would be my takeaway. We got to be, and we've been improving defensively. And now we're ready to go. I mean, now it's real. You're heading into the SEC on Saturday and looking forward to that challenge.
You mentioned Kai. Any update there with Dayton?
Same boat. They're both, I don't care who we would have played today, neither one of them would not have been able to go. It wasn't like I was just holding them back for today. And we'll see.
They practiced or did anything?
Not live practice, not live body-on-body practice. Shooting, running on some things, so we'll see. We still have, 4 or 5 days before we get going Saturday.
I know Xavier had that ankle issue.
Yeah.
Non-conference play, but how good is it to see him healthy and have this?
Look at Xavier's last 4 games. Look, I haven't put those 4 games, but I can just tell you his last 4 games. 22 points, 5 assists, 2 turnovers, 22 points on 14 shots. He got 5 rebounds. He's been outstanding, leading. These last 4 games, you can just tell his movements compared to that 3-game stretch with his bad ankle. So, really love the direction that he's going in with that. And then Nigel, with Nigel too, for him, he still had 13 points on 7 shots, but I love that he had 7 assists, 1 turnover for Nigel. That's really good.
Thanks, guys.